In the activation today, I shared the transmission of the Sun Pyramid in Bosnia. Some of you might already know a little bit about the pyramids. I've talked about them before, so I'm going to talk now more for those of you who haven't already heard. And I'll share more information over the next few days because I will focus the activations and the plus sessions on the experience of the pyramids. So in this image is what's called the Sun Pyramid. It's actually the largest structure. It's larger than the surrounding hills, which is very impressive as you drive down the valley or up the valley. We drove a long way up this valley and it's surrounded by quite high hills all around. When you come to this area, it's very prominent. It stands out. It looks almost as though it's in the center of the valley as you come up. And it's the hills are more rounded, and this is a very, very distinct pyramid shape. But as you can see from the picture, it's green. It's all covered with trees and bushes and grass on the back of it. And so it's not immediately obvious. Apparently, back in the Middle Ages and until a few hundred years ago, the local people knew about it, but somehow it got suppressed. Something happened, and it went underground, so to speak, and was rediscovered in 2005 by a pyramid expert. It's 270 meters high. The largest known pyramid before that was the pyramid in Giza, which is 140 pyramids high. Interestingly, there's a lot of controversy about it. People say it's a hoax, which is a bit bizarre if you actually come here, because all the way up it, what you can't see in this picture is where they have uncovered the structure of it. And the structure is entirely made of a kind of concrete, literally. It's the most extraordinary thing that is like huge, huge slabs of concrete, some way under the topsoil. There's a good more than a meter of topsoil and kind of shaly stuff above this concrete slab. But the carbon testing that has been done has shown that the slab is around 34,000. No, the slab I think is around 29. There are parts of it they say is around 29,000. There are leaves in between parts of the concrete that they found and tested, and now the age is said to be 34,000 years old, which is well, just for comparison, I think the pyramid in Giza in Egypt is around 5,000 years old. So these are extraordinarily old, these pyramids. And I'd read quite a lot about it, or actually I'd watched some YouTube videos, and Nico has been exploring them, especially on YouTube, for quite a while now. So we knew quite a bit about it, and I was almost concerned that when we got here, sometimes videos make things seem more exciting than they are, and then it's a bit of a disappointment when you're actually there because you feel like you've seen it all already. Often you've seen the photos, and the photos are always of the best angle, and it doesn't. It like seeing photos of a tropical island or something. When you get there, you feel like you've seen the best of it before you even arrived. But I have to say that the moment I stepped out of the car, and I'm staying in a place that's quite similar to the view that you can see here. It's on the hill on the other side of the valley, so the pyramid is right in front of us, so to speak. it wasn't so much impressive by the size, hills are big anyway, but there was something that hit me the moment I stepped out of the car, almost a feeling of being overawed and slightly overwhelmed. And it was quite emotional. The energy is so strong. It's very subtle, and it's not the same as what I'm used to. So perhaps part of it also was being hit by something that was genuinely different, but clearly really powerful. So I walked up it yesterday. I think I walked up somewhere through here. It was very, very steep. It was very direct up through the trees, and up here is all bushes. And we were going more or less straight up. And it was only a path that people had made by somebody. People had obviously decided to go straight up. It wasn't a proper path. There are easier paths around the back. And over again, I felt this feeling, just this feeling of power and awe, and difficult. It was difficult to describe. I felt so close to tears, but tears didn't feel like the right response. That's just the closest way I can describe it. It's this very strong feeling in my heart and in my whole body of something incredibly special. I'll show you, that's a photo. Probably the color's been slightly enhanced, but it is very green around here. Maybe it was taken after there'd been lots of rain. It's a bit drier now because it's the end of the summer. But it's so distinct when you see it from certain angles. You can't really miss it. And when you get here, you realize, because funnily enough, when I was driving up, further down the valley, there are quite a lot of hills with these rather distinct ridge lines. And I was thinking, oh, it's not surprising that some people think it's not real. But actually, when you get here, it's so different from the surrounding hills. And there are other smaller pyramids around that you can see. And just the feeling of it. And last night, we were in a little cafe round the back, somewhere up here. It's quite high up. And we had a late dinner there because we came down off the top. It was well after sunset. And there were a couple of people there who've been around here a lot more. It's very, very clear that it is a place where extraordinary things happen, that it's an extremely enhanced energy field. They say that the purpose of these pyramids is to be like an energy machine. They talk about it being very strong for health and for rejuvenation, and also for spiritual abilities. My feeling is it's up to us to figure out for ourselves what it's all about, what the energy is for you. I know for me so far, the thing that I feel is this incredible strength that comes from it. And I can feel it all the way through my body. It makes my body feel very solid, not in a physical way, but in an energetic way. Like very, very whole, as though there are no gaps in it. There are no places where the energy is weak or lacking. I think that's the best way I can describe it. And I really want to spend more time with that, because it feels as though it's tremendously beneficial energy for the period that we're living in, where we need to be extremely strong, physically, energetically, emotionally, in every way, in order to handle the level of change in energy that's going on at the moment. So far, that's what I experienced. And I also have the sense that there's some kind of initiation or very significant activation going on for me by being here, and maybe even for you at a distance, you might experience your own activation, special activation or initiation. So tomorrow morning, I've cleared my schedule, and my plan is to record the activation right at the top of the pyramid. Today, when we were at dinner last night, we were sitting on a table next to a couple of guys, and it turned out that one of them had come here last year and had arrived at a place, at a property which is on or owns what's called the Love Pyramid. I'll see if I can find a picture of it in a moment. And the guy who owned it at the time, I think, took one look at him and said, you're who I've been waiting for. You're supposed to have this property. And it appears that he now owns the Love Pyramid. And he immediately invited us to go over and see it. So that's what we're going to do today. And if there's a chance and it seems appropriate, I'll also see if I can record something there. Let me just see if I can find a picture of that one. Bosnian Love Pyramid. It's hard to see from these angles. In some places I've seen, it's going to be one of these ones. I'm not sure which one it is. This is the Sun Pyramid here. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Open the image. This is an overview of the whole valley. That's going to be in it. Just hold on one second. Let me just check. This is interesting. If you see all these lines now, the Sun Pyramid, which is the largest one, is aligned with true north. It's just 12 seconds off. The Giza pyramids, they're 2 minutes off true north, which was already thought to be pretty remarkable. But these ones are so closely aligned. And clearly the tops of them, that what they're showing is that if you draw a line between the tops of the three main pyramids, which is the sun, the pyramid of the moon, and the pyramid of the dragon, comes up with a triangle. And they each have a channel of water coming from that meets at the center of the triangle. And that water is said to also have healing power. I just want to see, this is the pyramid of love. So let's have a look at the picture of that. That's, I think, this one over here. No, that doesn't make sense. It must be this one, because I know that you access it from the back of the main pyramid. So we're going to go and have a look at that one today. And then somewhere along here, there are these tunnels, and apparently the energy in the tunnels is extraordinary. We haven't been there yet. So we'll check it out today, and I'll come back with more information tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be on the top of the Sun Pyramid when I actually do the activation. So I will see you then.